Sankita. I am like having 7 years of experience in HR, and I have been dealing with negotiations and appraisals and also grievance handling, employment, engagement activities in my career, and also in case of the form of recruitment. So I would like to hear discuss about the story that has really built up my life, and I would say the particular experience. But let me give a little brief before I dive into it. As I was into the industries, like into the IT industries, government offices also have worked, and also in the manufacturing industry, I have seen certain areas which I'm getting covered over here in the topic. I'm really thankful to the professors because they are giving me the highlight that yes, emotions are really important. Since childhood, I've been a very emotional, sensitive woman and also very much spiritual, I would say. I always pour love in whatever I do, and I always get involved and attached, I would say, with anything that wherever I pour my heart into. So my story starts when I started dating this guy, and after like 6-7 years we got married. And yeah, there was some issue from his parents end at first, but they were ready about the marriage, so we got married and I shifted to California. So I got married in the month of December, 11 December 2021, and then I shifted to US and California, New York in 2022 February. So that's when our journey began. And once I got shifted, like since before also there were like I was already a working lady, and once I got shifted as like there, I obviously became a housewife, and that was also a transition period for me because I was very much into work. And after I got shifted, I found myself very much under the pressure of his family. I was not only getting mentally harassed there, and he was also under the pressure of his family. So he made it very much clear to me that divorce is inevitable. And there, that's a point where I broke, because I was still thinking that no, I'm gonna build a home with him and everything is gonna be all right, even though I have given up my career for him as well. So then what happened is like I started having some kind of mental health issues there while I was there in US. I started having panic attacks and all sort of problems, and I looked for the doctor consultation there in California in the month of July, but unfortunately I was getting the date for the month of November, and it was really taking toll on my health because I started bleeding there, because I started shivering whenever I started having these panic attacks, and I was not even okay to talk to anyone at that point of time, not even, at least not a third party. So even sitting in front of the doctor was a challenge for me because I was feeling so unsafe within myself, and obviously with him as well, because he, even though he was present with me, I have been into with very much many places over there with him. I was very much like a roomie with him. I was living my life, I was happy, but he made it so clear with me that the emotional attachment and the emotional investment into the relationship literally failed in front of my eyes, and I couldn't do anything, even he couldn't do anything about it. So even though since I was sitting there in US, I started doing a course. I started doing a certification from the California University of Irvine, and that is of the analytics, HR analytics, because I had to involve my mind somewhere where I can really concentrate and upgrade myself. And I was sitting there. I used to wait for him to come back home, but all these things was happening. But he was the one who was taking care of me during the time of my panic attack phases. But he was the only one who was hurting me. So he was the one who was putting ointment to my pain, but only he is the one, he is continuously cutting my heart out. Everything was going like that, and that was a moment when I realized that I have reached to the bottom and dark night of my soul, kind of, where I'm just crying, and I know that emotionally I was getting drowned. And yes, it is very important for us to feel our emotions, to accept our emotions, to let it flow the way it wants to flow. But at the same times, once you accept your emotions and let it flow, once you let it process, that's the only time how you can deal with it, or else you won't be able to. But sometimes you are not in a position to deal with it as well, because everything around you is like falling apart, and you can see it in front, right in front of your eyes. Your 7 years, 8 years of relationship and then marriage and every sort of thing is just falling apart, and you cannot do anything. Sometimes it is very important to understand that emotion shows us also the moment where, it is very important that we need to take care of ourselves, because emotions also show us that where we cannot grow, where we are unsafe, where we are feeling insecure and unstable, because those are the point that our body is trying to show us through anxiety and depression. So I returned to India to my parents for my treatment, and I got to know that I am severely depressed and suffering from a chronic depression. I started having anxiety pills as my doctor prescribed, because I hit to the therapy. I started having my counseling sessions from the doctors, because my body started feeling, started seeing it at the top of the voice. Because since childhood, I was very much connected with myself, and emotionally I was very much attuned to myself. But I was very much disconnected with my body, and I was very much disconnected with my emotions as well before this incident, before this experience actually happened and took a toll to my mental health. Yes, my therapy session was on. Yes, my pills were on, but still I started looking for a job, because my doctors wanted me to join, and that is one of the starting of my healing sessions. But that was a time when I got the inner voice saying that, Ankita, you're not here to live a life like that. And that was enough for me, and that was a time when I started taking the spiritual practice seriously, and I started getting involved. I started getting involved in journaling, in meditation, and also in writing blogs, and doing the dance movement and the movements of my body, because I was already a dancer, professional dancer, since my 3 years of age. Then after that, a few months went, and yes, I was into the rock bottom, but yes, I got a job, and I joined as a manager, and then I then switched to another one, and I became the HR head as well. So everything was going well. My mental health started improving, but more and more it was improving. The more and more I started working onto myself. I did the mirror techniques as well, where I started giving myself time. I started working out the emotions, whatever emotions I was feeling, because that moment was very hard for me, because any man, I was not able to tolerate men. I was started having this feeling of insecurity, mistrust, and distrust, and I was used to feel very much fear when somebody, and especially men, used to talk a bit decibel high, in a higher tone, maybe not negative, but whatsoever it is. So many a times, and it has also given me the challenging role where I had to tackle myself down. I had to continuously train my mind that no, everything's gonna be well. So I believe that yes, I totally understand that whatever I am today, like phoenix rising from my own ashes, I think I have become because of this experience I had. See, I still love that person. Yes, the world and even that human being gave me a number of reasons to be rude and brutal towards myself as well, to be totally disconnected. But no, that experience really changed my life, because I didn't seek any revenge. Rather, I became very much attuned with my emotions. I became very much connected with my body, because it is very much important that you connected with your body, because your body talks about the emotions, and sometimes you store those emotions also inside the body unknowingly. It is very important that you talk to yourself, and I talk to myself actually through the mirror. So I use a mirror technique, I use a journaling technique to do that. It has really helped me a lot. And the same time, right now when I meet new people in my workplace, at my workspace, they feel very much safe with me, and they come up to me. Many of the time strangers connect with me. They started telling their life stories. They themselves says that, Ankita, we feel very safe talking to you, and it is very rare when I really come up to you and I look up to you. So I have not only created a safe space for myself, but meanwhile I have reflected that to outside world as well. I have become more kind and compassionate to myself, and empathetic for others, because I have seen that darkness, and I want everyone to understand that yes, there is a light behind the tunnel, and there is a God who is always helping you out, but you need to help yourself out. That was a moment when I started, and I promised myself that I'm never gonna let myself down. The divorce case is still on. I still love that person. I still keep falling in love with myself and with the human beings, because it is very important to stay connected even with the human beings, because you cannot just deny that you are a human and you are a social animal. So it's perfectly fine, but stay connected with your body, stay connected with your mind, spirit, because if I can do, anyone can do. Because I'm a very simple woman, and I'm a very simple girl who believed in miracles, and trust me, magic happens in every point of time. Those broken times have made me what I am today, and that is a story that I want to tell to the world, that yes, it has totally shaped my life. Yes, even though I have loved that person today, I will tell this to the whole world, that keep loving, do not hate, because world need most the sensitive heart of yours and empathetic nature of yours. It is very important. And thank you, the professors, thank you, Michigan University, for this amazing course, and it is really helping me a lot in my long run, as well as I'm trying to shift my career into the learning and development. Thank you so much. This is my story, which really transformed me and made me what I am. I'm kind of proud of myself, and I kind of pat my back as well. Thank you. Thank you.